Good evening, everybody. Viva la Tractalona. The away form continues. Oh, what a win. What a win. Huge win that for Town this evening at Mark Ashton Gate. The stadium built by Mark Ashton. Fantastic win, 1-0. Nathan Baldhead with the goal. I hope you're all celebrating wherever you are in the world, be it in the UK, down at Ashton Gate, in Australia, wherever you are. Hope you're celebrating because I look at the live table right now. Leicester played 13, 36 points. Ipswich Town played 12, 31 points. Leeds played 13. They're still playing at the moment. They are on 22. We are 9 points clear. A huge win for Town. Great to see the momentum is still with us after the Rotherham postponement. We know that game's going to be played early November the 7th, I think it is. Let's have a look at some of your comments. I'll stop gas bagging. You may be wondering actually before we get to that, where Martin is. He's been involved in some kind of DIY incident where he's hurt his eye. He's been lectured by the Cruncher for not wearing goggles. He's gone to A&E. I understand he's okay. We'll back in the hot seat very soon. Ben says, up the Town, mind the gap. Norwich. Woody Woods tells us, Town goal getting pepper potted with corners and shots. Squeaky bum time. It was. I mean, it was 70 minutes of domination, right? But 10 minutes nervy either side, I think. 10 minutes at the start and 10 minutes at the end. Phil says, well done, Town. Super Blues. Yes, that'll do, says Woody. 3 points is all that matters. James Sargent dug in what needed. Great result. Come on, Stoke. The Shy Shank 1962. It's so weird that we score and concede loads at home, but 1-0 away pretty much every game. I'll take it though. Yeah, I was saying this to someone, I was chatting to someone about Town earlier in the week, and I said, look, we don't concede away particularly. At home, it's like a piece of Swiss cheese. So I think Martin is on production controls. Now, whether or not that's in the hospital or he's now made it back home, I don't know. And lo and behold, I love this because I don't know whoever's coming on. Mr. Positivity.
All right.
Neil Wells. Of course, Neil, you're welcome to the show. You obviously got that nickname, of course, out of, a little bit sarcastic, but we are actually very positive right now. Give me your thoughts on 90 minutes.
Well, from the start, it looked a little bit ragged. So, and then we built into it. We had quite a few shots and looked like we should have scored a few goals. In the end,
it did feel like we was unlucky actually just to come away with a 1-0 win. I mean, what about Morsey hit the post? That was a hell of a rocket.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you had Luongo before that, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we peppered them sort of first half, and then second half we had to dig in, and as shaky as it was at moments, we look in control, don't we?
I did feel like that was a real good away performance in that we looked kind of like a level above them. And I mean that kind of all respect. We look like a team that's been together, had success together, got a bit of an identity, a blueprint around how we play. But you've got to expect some nervous moments when you're away from home, I think. And certainly, I think Bristol City like to play football, don't they? Which kind of suits us. If you think back to when we played Huddersfield, where they were a little bit more long ball, a little bit more trying to counter attack us a little bit more. That was a bit more of a nervous game. And of course, we didn't even win that one, did we? But here we are, go toe to toe, play football, we get the 3 points.
Yeah, I said to Martin first half about, they look like a team that's far better than their league position. But we held on. I think some of the lads that came on second half, they had moments of looking quite good, but Scarlett has got a little bit to pick up on for me.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? It's a controversial thing, even though I think Hurst got the assist. This is controversial. Do you want more from him? I mean, he does all the running in the world. Fantastic. I'd love to see what his running stats are. But when presented with an opportunity, he had a chance, didn't he, that was saved. Another chance in the second half where he twisted and shot. I just want a little bit more from him in front of goal. I can't doubt his attitude, his running, fans holding the ball up. But I do want a bit more goal for it, maybe. Am I being harsh?
Well, I think we always want more, don't we? But I think while everyone else is doing the jobs they're doing and it's working, we can just let it be. It's when everyone else sort of dries up and we need a striker to score goals is the point where I feel second half he had a knock, didn't he? And he was on the ground for a little while. And from that point onwards, pretty much every ball that came to him, it just pinged off a couple of feet. Yeah, it was.
I'm still not convinced, Neil, that Scarlett really likes to play in a 1. From what I was told, he always played in a 2 when he's been at Spurs or maybe at Portsmouth and stuff. Let's have a little look and see what everyone else is saying. Sharon says, so proud of my club. Absolutely. Paul Smith, great result. Getting a bit worried about the amount of yellow cards we're picking up. A good friend of mine doubled his money this evening on Wolves are getting a yellow.
You could almost guarantee it, though.
Yeah. I might start lumping a fiver on soon. Harp says, thought the ref was shit again. Oh, don't worry about that. Josh Russell, big win that. Yeah, totally agree. Let's go down a little bit here. Hi, David. Evening, guys. Long time no here. Good you're tuning in. Norman Greenwell, not our best performance, but I'm happy with the win. Haladki does flap at crosses. Well, there was a little bit of a nervous moment in the end, wasn't there? Because they put that ball into the box. I thought he was going to come and catch it. And he did the old continental double parry that sent it back to the guy again.
Put it straight back to the wide man, yeah. I was...
yeah.
And then there was that a corner that we didn't need to give away. The ball could have just been... Yeah. Williams found himself sort of that side, and he could have just let it go off, but obviously no one spoke to him.
We've got Ian Davis here. If you've not watched him and the Cruncher and Rob and Christian, I think it is the new guy they've got on the cricket show. Check it out. They lament over England losing to South Africa in all bits of World Cup. Ian says, bit ragged towards the end. I would agree. Hurst didn't have a great game, poor touch, but I'll take the win. I would agree with that. Chris Boyd, a nervy second half. Loving the new third kit. Have you seen the third kit, Neil?
Is that the one I saw with white with the stripes on it?
Exactly. So apparently this is if you're not seeing it, everybody, it's in the shop already. Surprise. You can find that online. It's to celebrate 145 years of Ipswich Town as a club when they got formed 1878, and it is a replica of the 81 through to 84 white shirt, black pinstripes, made by Umbro, obviously. And Neil, they've brought back the old retro badge. The yellow and blue badge is going to be on there. Black shorts, white socks.
The yellow looks outline on it.
Looks all right. Me and Cruncher was saying today that he predicted it'd be white. And we said it'll become very useful when we have to play teams that play in blue and orange. When would they wear this? They don't need to, really, do they? But it does look good.
No, I guess it'll be one of those they just squeeze in on a game just for doing it rather than needing it.
The black one was worn twice, I do believe, in that Derby game and then at Burnley. Nigel Price says, as a Town fan living in Bristol, that was a huge match and result. Thank you, Town. Nigel, you can walk into work tomorrow with your head held high. It's always good, that, isn't it? Norman Greenwood says, Luongo or Williams, man of the match for me. Any thoughts on that, Neil? I actually think Haladki looked solid in the sticks. I mean, look, he got a bit of action in the first 10 minutes, last 10 minutes. Who of the outfield players do you think would probably get man of the match? I mean, look, it was a great goal from Broadhead, wasn't it? Half volley, superb finish.
As much as Williams has, I'm sure he came out and said he prefers left back to right back. He is nailing on a solid performance week in, week out in that right back position.
Yeah.
I sometimes question his positioning, but he always makes up for it in whatever move he pulls off. He
seems very quick at getting back, doesn't he? Yeah, he reads the game well. I mean, look, you'd expect this from a Man United loanee, wouldn't you? He reads the game well and tracks back really well. Of course, got more to come when Twanzebe is fit, probably for this Fulham game. I keep saying this. Everyone should have a shot every time I keep mentioning Twanzebe. Martin says I'm obsessed with Twanzebe. Stoke are now 1-0 up, Neil, says Kev Hansen. It's a 9-point gap. Wow, fantastic. Mike,
I never actually answered your question on
Go for it. Go for it.
I think both boys in the midfield, they played brilliantly. Williams was brilliant for me, so he would get my vote. As for Haladki, I did mention to Martin that he's been looking fairly solid, and as a back, 5 that we've got with him there as well, we just like to play it around.
Do you see a route back for Walton at the moment? It doesn't seem like that, does it, right now?
Early on in the season, I was very much, we need to get him in as soon as possible. But now it's don't rush when Walton's ready, when in training he's really looking head and shoulders. If that ever happens, then I think put Walton in the cup games at this moment to try and.
So. I mean, it feels like him and Twanzebe will probably We'll probably get minutes against Fulham in the League Cup next week, I would have thought. But I can't see Hladky being moved yet until he has a nightmare or gets injured. Hopefully, neither of those things will happen for him. You know what I mean? What does Mike the Fisherman say here? Sloppy, slow, rusty, but winner. Found a way of winning. Don't get Dane Scarlett. Looks poor, if I'm honest. Yeah, I mean, like, he done okay. Is that? But do we want okay when you're riding
the one moment he done something that was quite good? He won 2 headers on the trot, and then I think it was Harness out that side. Just had the worst touch in the world and gave it away. It's all for nothing.
Yeah. What did you make of Jackson coming in then? Were you surprised by that, or did you think Kamari would come in for Wes? And do you think we missed Wes, or did Jackson, fill the gap? What do you think?
Hutchinson has been good, or has been pretty amazing at times of late with things he can do. He sometimes can get bullied out of a game if his quality doesn't quite shine enough.
Yeah,
I think Jackson's the easy one to, with his more experience. He can be put in, and he done a job, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the way he was rushing in first half, I did have feelings that is he going to get sent off if he carries on?
He got a yellow early on, didn't he? He did get a yellow early on.
And then he was herring towards that player of theirs, and I thought, is he going to go through him? But no, luckily he got there first. And...
Yeah, he got there first. We say earlier, Morsey got his yellow. Maybe lucky not to get a second yellow for that foul on the edge of the box. They gave him free. Yeah. Very close to a penalty, wasn't it?
The way he was reacting, he didn't even believe it was a foul, as players normally do.
Yeah, and of course Hladky made the save, so that was all good. All right, Neil, I will let you get on. We've got a few other guys to come in. Great to see you as always. Martin, who do we have next? Owain. Have I said that correctly?
Owen, but you can call me whatever you want.
How are you doing, my friend? How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. That was a little bit, the last 20 minutes, was a bit nervy, wasn't it? When they were ramping up, and to be fair to Bristol, they play some nice football, so they're going to have moments, going to have openings, but I think overall we handled them. Other than the ball slowly moving towards the line and then trickling along it.
Oh my God!
I didn't enjoy that, but no, I think
wasn't it?
Very good, yeah. And as you say, I think Williams had a very good game. Luongo, as mentioned, and Chaplin several times. He's a Premier League player in waiting for me. He's a very good player.
Yeah, it feels like it to me. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Connor, he's brought new meaning to Connor Chaplin baby because he's become a dad, hasn't he?
Yes.
So just hope that sort of, that optimism he's got can carry forward with his performances. It certainly looked like that this evening. Were you confident we'd get the win tonight, or did you think I'll take a point and try and get 3 against Plymouth? 4 points from 2 games would be a good return. Now we're facing up to maybe 6 points from 2 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I put in the Discord pre-match that my expectation was a 2-2 draw. I didn't think there'd just be 1 goal today. I don't even think that was a 1-0 match. I think we had goals that we arguably could have had 1 or 2 more if we just had our finishing boots on. And I think there was a goal out there for Bristol as well. So a very entertaining 1-0. But as I say, we handled them really overall, even when they were ramping up the pressure. I think that's when our defence stood up, as they have done a lot. Hladky, I mean, I didn't want him anywhere near our football club. I thought he was freaking awful, and he's become so good. He's in. I think we're probably now seeing what Salford had, and also what he's added to his game, especially with his feet. Because I don't know, the days of Will Norris trying to control the ball and Thomas Oley are long gone. It's nice.
Oh my God! Hold on a minute. I've come over light-headed. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He even did a little header this evening, Hladky, didn't he? Crouched down.
He did, yeah. I I'd like to see him catch a ball at times.
Yes, I mean, look, we had that hairy moment at the end, didn't we, where he kind of like palmed it, not even a punch, palmed it, but he felt like he was obviously in control of it, and maybe felt confident with his defence in front of him, I suppose.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, Bart used to do that as well, didn't he? You know, he were exceptional for us, but he'd have those moments where he just like, why are you flapping at it? But they get paid the big bucks. They know what they're doing. They put, you know, God knows what we'd do under that eyeball.
yeah, absolutely. What did you make of Broadhead's goal then? It was another great finish. I believe it was his 6th goal of the season. I mean, again, Johnny on the spot, give him a bit of a gap around the edge of the box, like Chaplin.
I thought the little pass from Luongo outside of the foot, Hurst's little touch on, his finish, another lovely goal. If we'd conceded that, I wouldn't be happy with our goalkeeper because I don't know what he was doing. But take nothing away from him. Another lovely goal for another lovely footballing team. So what more can you ask for?
Absolutely. Phil Blundell says we are 14 points ahead of Norwich. There you go. Have a little drink to that. What did you make of that?
You know, it's funny, isn't it? Because even when, you know, in our playoff season and things like that, when it came to playing them, there's just a feeling of, oh no, you know, when they had players like, well, to be fair, when the year or two after they had James Maddison and that, you go, oh yeah, I don't think J-Tab or a Cole Scouse is quite at that level. But
hey, I used to like J-Tab, me. So, I
wish we'd had him 2 or 3 years prior when he were really ripping it up at Reading, because I think he had something about him. But there's nothing to fear with Norwich. They do have goals in them, but they're very...
They seem flaky, don't they? Hit and miss, they seem.
Yeah, they're a weird team because, especially this summer with their signings, they've gone completely away from their what is Norwich, what it should be. So I don't know what they're doing, but at the end, but at the end of the day, fuck them. You know, they can. Who cares?
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't put it any better myself. Trevor Ramos says, Leicester and Ipswich promoted by Christmas. Well, I think it was a stat on Sky last night saying, obviously, Leicester have had the best start to a championship season ever, and were 14 points ahead of what Burnley were this time last season, which then, of course, pre-kickoff, means we are 9 points ahead of what Burnley were last season. And of course, they walked to the division. And well, listen, we've got this huge gap here now. So we know that the Stoke Leeds game is over. And so Leeds sit on 3rd place, 13 points, 22 points. We've played 12, Owen. We're on 31, and Leicester on 36. There is a gap between us and 3rd. It's even bigger than what we had going into the international break.
Well, that's the kind of gap that, a few weeks ago was a gap to 7th. And in my head, I'm thinking, right, even if it goes wrong, we're in those playoffs. We're safe. Christ alive. Now we've got that gap to 3rd, and we've got a game in hand. I'm not being funny. I would much rather play Rotherham on a...
Yes.
When it's not been raining for 12 hours prior, as much as it were horrible for the fans who'd made the trip, that game had 1-1 ugly, or Rotherham take an ugly early lead, and it's just hell on earth after. Yes. So a nice autumnal evening, 7 degrees, crisp in the air, and we'll pummel them 4-0. That'll do for us.
That will do. That will do. Love that. All right, Owen. Well, thanks for coming to see us. Great stuff. Take care of yourself, my friend. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Martin. Now, Martin's back from the hospital. Oh, he's sitting in the waiting room. I don't know where, but he's saying, I've seen gaps close quickly. Just ask Wednesday. Don't worry about that. We're not Sheffield Wednesday, are we? This is Kieran McKenna ball. Love that. Who we got next, Martin? Come on. Who we got next? Round the roulette wheel. Who do we have? It's Steve Thompson. Steve on base. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Now, I've got a question for you, Steve. Did you watch the game on Town TV, or did you watch it on the Red Button?
I watched it on Red Button.
Now, like me, I went for my eye test Estate Vision Express, where they told me my vision was good. I felt like the camera was on the moon on the Red Button. Did you get that vibe?
It was awful. I was getting a little bit seasick, to be honest. I was getting a bit a bit funny with that one, but yeah.
And also the commentator sounded like he was wanted to be anywhere other than Ashton Gate?
There was a bit, I think it might have been, it was early on in the first half. I can't remember if it was 1-0 by this point or not. And the keeper just palmed away a really good shot from us. And he just sounded so dull. He had a really good shot. And any other commentator would have been quite enthusiastic about it. And he just sounded so bored. Like, come on.
Yeah. Even the balls he shot at the post, he was like, and they've hit the woodwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's at the post. Oh, okay.
So what did you make of the game then, Steve? Were you nervous beforehand? Did you feel like we've had that enforced delay with the Rotherham game? We didn't get to play, postponed. Have we lost any momentum? Well, we certainly didn't look like we'd lost any momentum, did we?
No, we sort of picked up where we left off. I think the second half was a bit of a nervy watch, especially towards the end. They seemed to sort of have an answer for everything we tried, and they definitely seemed to be. I think Bristol were the stronger team towards the end, but. It goes to show what sort of team that Ipswich are. They had an answer again for everything that Bristol tried. So it was a bit nervy at times, but yes. I was when Williams cleared that ball off the line as well. I was getting a little bit anxious, but that was fantastic clearance.
My God, it always makes me laugh because that player who had the shot was Harry Connick, and if you're a Jazz FM fan like myself, Harry Connick Jr. American piano player and songwriter is on there quite a lot. I mean, bloody hell! I was like, clear
it. It was. I wouldn't say it was a tough watch as such. I think we played some pretty good football. I think Brandon Williams tonight was very, very good. Yes, a bit unimpressed, I think, with Caden Jackson. I think he had a bit of work to do, but I think overall it was a solid performance.
What do you think of? I know Mike the Fisherman put in the chat earlier. He didn't think much of Caden's crossing, and I would probably agree with that. I think maybe sometimes Wes is guilty of that kind of ball into the box. But were you, I mean, as I asked the other guys, were you surprised to see Caden there? Would you like to have seen Amari there, another in that slot? Or I mean, it felt like probably Caden would get the nod, wouldn't it? Especially after he scored against Preston.
To be fair, I thought Amari would get it. Obviously, it was obvious that Burns wasn't going to be there, so I thought it would have been Hutchinson because Jackson seems to have been quite effective off the bench this year. He used his pace to your advantage when he got up sort of tired.
Preston being one.
yeah. So I was surprised to see him get the nod, and I was I was unimpressed with him at the start. I thought some of the crosses were a little bit out, a bit
on the yellow.
Some of the passes were
a yellow early doors.
Yeah, nice yellow as well for what looked like originally a pretty decent tackle, to be fair, but maybe it was the yellow.
Yeah.
Don't know what the ref was doing on some of those, but I was surprised to see it was Jackson over Amari because I think Amari has been a better player, to be fair.
We've got a little parish notice here from Ian. If you are going to the Rotherham game, Ian Davies says the Scala car park on Corporation Street near the bus station in Rotherham is free. Woohoo! After 6 p.m. And that's where I parked Friday. And as Andy Barrell says in the follow-up, and then you swam to the ground. Hopefully there won't be any of those problems when we have to return to Rotherham.
Is the rescheduled game going to be on Sky? Is it still going to be on Sky?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know how that works because obviously there'd have been agreements on payments for the match. Martin is saying yes.
Oh, okay.
That's good. Hopefully that geezer tonight won't be on commentary. That's all we hope for.
Bloody woeful. God.
What did you make of Hurst this evening? I think he's been credited with the assists for the goal, which is fantastic. I said at the top of the show, I might like to see him a little bit more deadly in front of the goal. What were your thoughts?
I do agree. I think he did well. I think he works quite hard.
He works very hard every game, I think. You can't take that away from him.
Really, I think it's one thing you can get. If he doesn't score a goal, you know that he is still going to work hard no matter what. But it would have been nice to see him, get a goal. I think that was a bit of a shame. But overall, I think he worked well. There was some good link-up play. I think he did all right. He's still a very good signing, and I'm quite excited to see what he can do over the course of the season.
Yeah. I mean, our manager keeps picking him. I mean, that tells you everything.
Yeah, that's what he's doing something right, isn't he?
Yeah. I just think sometimes you can default to the position that the person who's playing that lone striker role up top, holding the ball up, the old-fashioned number 9, as you will. I just want a bit of goal power there. But as Neil said at the top of the show, your Formula One friend, as long as everyone else is doing their jobs and scoring, it don't really make much difference, does it?
It's quite fortunate this year that even if Hurst isn't scoring every game, we've got people like Chaplin, we've got people like Broadhead who can absolutely bang them in. So the goals are coming thick and fast. It's not like a few years ago where there was just, you wondered where the goals were going to come from because the strikers weren't on form. No one else seemed to be either. It's like, at least if Hurst isn't going to get a goal, you've got someone like Chaplin or Burns or Broadhead who can bang them in.
Those names are going to put a little bit of fear into other clubs as well. Mark Coolmer says to us, just moved back to the UK after living stateside for the past 40 years. Have you gone crazy, Mark? We don't have Denny's here. Hardly got a Dunkin' Donuts. Looking forward to seeing some games in the very near future. Come on, you Blues. Well, great. I hope you can get to Portman Road very soon, Mark. All right, Steve. Well, great catching up with you. I think we've got one more person to come in, and then we're there. Who we got? It's Phil Blunden, everybody. How you doing, Phil? You all right?
Great stuff, mate. Great stuff. Predicted 3 points. Had a word with Colin Plum on WhatsApp before the game yesterday, and told him that if he didn't bring back 3 points, then he might as well just leave Suffolk. But
he's now allowed back.
He's allowed back.
Colin was making a week of it. He was staying down there.
A couple of nights. Yeah. He always does that. He likes to.
Good idea.
Go off and have a sort of a day trip down.
What's going on?
As well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you posted earlier 14 points clear of Norwich. Were you nervous towards the end of towards the final whistle? Oh, no, you were confident, right?
No, I was confident. I think obviously I predicted Bristol would come back into it. Sort of, possession wise in the second half, and they did so after about 60 minutes. And then, I think when teams get luck in any particular game, when it's tight, when it's kind of 1-0 and there's just the odd goal, and we're seeing it out towards the end, and we get that slice of luck at some point in the game, it's going to be our season, and we're going to do it this season. I'm telling you, another 3 points against Rotherham in a week or so's time.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
It does. I did feel like when we go forward, even though I thought Bristol City got on the front foot, and you're at home, you've got a decentish crowd there. They got on the front foot and wanted to play football with us, which I think always suits us. But I still think in our attacking threat, we look to level above. Did you think that as well? Oh, yeah. Phil. Big shout out, David Bergen. €10 in the pot. Thank you, David. Go for it, Phil. Go for it.
Yeah, it's just the way that we're playing our football. It seems to me that one team in the Championship every season plays a style of way, a brand of football that is unparalleled to any other team in division, and we're it. And ever since I predicted that away win against Barnsley earlier this year, was it back in March, April time?
April. Great time.
I've had the same feeling the whole time in the last 6-7 months, and it's wonderful. And just to carry this on through now, our block of games. Shrek Rooney lost again tonight at home against. 2-0. He lost again, yeah. So not a good start to his managerial reign. And no, I'm looking forward to the game. I've got a ticket for Birmingham. Sadly, I was going to go with my friend Lee, but he didn't manage to get a ticket before the allocation got sold out. So I'm just waiting to see if anyone kind of can't go. No, I don't mind driving to Birmingham. I've not paid for a coach ticket this time, so I don't mind spending the extra cash going up there.
Who did you think was your man of the match this evening? I'm kind of impressed.
This is turning into the $64,000 question every game we play now. Yeah. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Brody? Is it going to be Chaplin? Is it going to be Burgess? Is it going to be Morsey? Is it going to be Williams? Is it going to be Davis? I don't know. I would say it's so hard to pick.
Everybody's doing their job in the unit, aren't they?
You'd have to crunch the stats to see who played the best tonight. I usually give it. Like with the Cardiff game when Jackson came off the bench and scored 2. Oh, sorry, Ladapo scored 2. I gave it to him, and I think you get an extra half a point for a match win if there's just the one goal in the game. And Brody took his goal so well. That was such a thunderous strike. He hit it so hard that keeper just didn't have much of a chance getting a hand to that. So
breaking news here from Metal Jace, must have heard the interview. McKenna reckons Burns will be back around the international break. So what's that? 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, Burns. He was on the coach in the studio, wasn't he? With Matt Holland. And,
was he?
Yeah. Where they each wore the away kit, and I like that away kit. I mean, say
the third one,
like,
the new third one,
the new third
White and
one.
black.
You know, like the early 1980s. I mean, say I've got the 1981 UEFA Cup replica upstairs in my wardrobe, and I thought, okay. Just talking about the touch of yellow on the retro badge, they've obviously reinstated it, but yellow. Does that remind you of anything up the roads?
It's our old school badge, Phil. It's our old school badge.
Yeah,
listen, we used to have the gold and blue away top. I've got that upstairs. I'll have to bring it out one of these times.
I don't mind. I think the yellow looks good on that kit, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Multi unlucky with that shot hit the post.
I think that Pring should have been booked in the first half with that challenge on Jackson. Absolutely stonewall. If he's booking
Cameron Pring.
Yeah, if he's booking Millsy for that, well, I mean, say that's fair. He did sort of, catch him a bit late, but things like that just annoy me. And
as a former referee, of course.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, no, Halagi pulled off another couple of fine saves tonight. Yeah. But we had that luck, in the second half, like we did, and heart in the mouth. I'm not going to lie, heart in the mouth.
Two players I think are going under the radar at the moment, Phil. In all the talk we've got here, how tight were Wolfenden and Burgess? Burgess off the back of his Australian success, playing at Wembley and all that thing.
I think again
tight at the back now, don't they?
Absolutely. I think you don't need a backline of sort of Premier League quality. Yes, I know Twanzebe, it will feature at some point, sooner than later.
But where will he feature? I can't see it at the moment.
Fulham game, I would have thought that he would probably probably Walton would come in for the Fulham game.
Yes, I agree.
Next week. And and you can't really put a price on, confidence and this psychological thing that they've got going, that they know what their positioning is. They know who's doing what at what times. Yes, it was a bit hairy, I guess, in the first half. We slipped a little bit in the first half, got to say. And, but their partnership, you can't, it's difficult putting a price on that kind of partnership when players are playing so well. I mean, I'm not going to compare them to Andy York and Dwight York of the 1990s Man United team, because they were on another level. Psychologically, they had this kind of spiritual connection in the way that they played,
isn't it? Regardless of where you are on the pitch, right?
Exactly. I mean, and just to note on the way that we're playing football, McKenna's got us well drilled. They're working hard and training. Yes, okay, it's hard, but in the style of play that we're playing, it's not difficult. They know what they're doing. They know what their roles are. And, we're now at game number 12, which is really sort of where kind of the early season form kind of drops off a bit. If I'm being honest, the honeymoon period is kind of over for the start of the season. And this run of ours is going to continue. We're just going to go win, 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 draw, win, win, maybe lose, draw, win, 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 win. I mean, we're just going to have, I think, a fabulous season. And, those people like David Bergin, who is negative Nelly, really, David, you should really stop worrying, mate. I mean, we're going into every game, full of confidence, playing some good stuff, free flow and scoring goals. Yes, okay, Hurst, I think Hurst should have got one tonight. Chaplin again. I mean, that keeper in the second half, was it earlier on in the second half for that mix-up? Yeah, Chaplin should have bagged that. But anyway,
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Martin here, Phil, because I'm quite happy chatting to you at the moment. Martin, do we have any more people to come on? Just let me know in the chat. Did you know, Phil, we've got poets in the comments section. In Ball and Blue, Norwich have Delia, we have Ed. He writes songs and she makes bread.
brown bread.
All right, Phil, we're gonna wind up now.
All right, okay. I'm not going to be around for the Saturday game because I told Gov I'm going to be in London at a
okay. So thoughts ahead of that one. We really do owe Plymouth one, don't we?
Oh God, yeah. I'm gutted that I'm missing the game, because that's the one. I mean, they won 3-0 against Wednesday tonight, and Wednesday they've been cut adrift. I think they're now 11 points, behind the safety mark. And I mean, it's a laughing stock. I mean, who'd have thought? And also, I don't know whether anyone has seen in the press and on social media tonight that Everton are facing a 12-point deduction For
right.
for their the Premier League is going to dick them 12 points. I think they
Wow.
recorded a loss of 370 odd million over the last 3-year period, when
God.
it only should be around 100 million.
Oh
So
my God.
they've had it, and just imagine what Man City could be facing, for their kind of overspend and whatnot. But
League Two.
we'll see that. maybe they'll do a Rangers. Maybe the FA will. I can't see that happening. I mean,
Imagine.
but crazy days, eh? Never mind.
So,
All right,
so,
okay.
So we got the 3 points this evening. You were confident of that. Are
Yep.
you confident with 3 points against Plymouth on Saturday? And what
Yes,
do you think the score will be?
Right, okay. Against Plymouth, that's going to be at least 2. We're going to score another 3 goals at least against Plymouth. At least 3 goals. We are averaging at least 2 goals a game at home this season already, if not 3 goals. With the rate we're going, it could even be better than that. We're going to get 3 points against Plymouth. We're going to go to Birmingham and get 3 points there. We're going to get Rotherham on the 7th of November and get 3 points there. And we're going to get 3 points against Swansea. Look, I'm predicting 4 W's. 4 W's in the next 5 games. So the Fulham game, that's going to be a bit hard, but
that'd be a good test. It's nice to see this side get tested, or whichever side we put out. It'd be good to see our squad get tested against decent Premier League opposition. All right then. Well, I love your optimism, Phil. 3 is the magic number. 3 points in the bag again, everybody.
Yeah, and, David Bergen, you got to stop worrying, mate.
Don't listen to him, David. You keep putting the money in the channel. We love you. All the best, everybody, and we will see you very, very soon. Have a great evening. See ya.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you. A long